What's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy Trayvon, and I'm back with another video. Just got done recording another video. Hit the like button, subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Just like that shit. Today we reacting to cops get fired and arrested after intense. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, comment. Oh shit. What is he?
Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers the juvenile justice system, official misconduct, and battery by a police officer, and is brought to us by Illinois Times' channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. Before we dive into the interaction, I want to give a big thanks to the sponsor of this episode, Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. Rocket Money is an all-in-one finance platform that helps you save more and spend less. February 27th, 2017, Officer Samuel Rosario and Officer Orlando Manzanares of the Springfield Police Department responded to a report of criminal damage to property in Springfield, Illinois, and approached the home where 19-year-old Robert Humes lived with his mother and sister. The interaction was captured on Officer Rosario's body camera.
How we doing, bud? Better, huh? What's going on, man? What's going on, man?
Well, my daughter, she just like flipped out a while ago about a money deal. Tells me I owe her like $40, which ain't hers. So she started flipping out. She busted a glass table, which table's no good, but she still had no business breaking my glass table, though.
Do you know which way she went?
No, I didn't see.
She went that way? You want to see if you can find her? I mean, we got at least criminal damage.
After speaking with Mr. Humes and his mother, Officer Rosario asks Officer Manzanares to try to find his 16-year-old sister, who allegedly broke a glass-top table. According to Section 21-1 of Article 5 of Title 720 of the Illinois Compiled Statutes, quote, "A person commits criminal damage to property when he or she knowingly damages any property of another, and the offense is a Class A misdemeanor when the damage to property does not exceed $500. Under Illinois law, a 16-year-old who commits a misdemeanor offense will typically not be charged with a crime in criminal court. Instead, prosecutors will file a petition in the juvenile court alleging that the child is a so-called delinquent minor, which Section 5-105 of Article 405 of Title 705 of the Illinois Compiled Statutes defines as, quote, "Any minor who prior to his or her 18th birthday has violated or attempted to violate, regardless of where the act occurred, any federal, state, county, or municipal law or ordinance." The juvenile justice system is meant to be primarily rehabilitative in nature, as opposed to the predominantly punitive character of the criminal justice system. And while individuals who are found guilty of crimes in a criminal court receive a criminal conviction, children who are found to have violated criminal laws in juvenile court are so-called adjudicated delinquent. However, in some instances, juveniles can be transferred to the adult system and tried in criminal court. For example, Section 5-130
They shouldn't do that when you murder somebody.
of Article 405 states that, quote, "The definition of delinquent minor shall not apply to any minor who, at the time of an offense, was at least 16 years of age and who is charged with first-degree murder, aggravated criminal sexual assault, or
I just said that, bro. I'm fine.
aggravated battery with a firearm. These charges and all other charges arising out of the same incident shall be prosecuted under the criminal laws of this state." In addition to this statutory exclusion, which automatically transfers use to the criminal justice system, Section 5-805 of Article 405 allows for the transfer of certain youths 15 years of age or older who have been accused of a forcible felony in furtherance of criminal activity by an organized gang and have previously been adjudicated delinquent or found guilty of a separate forcible felony. In these situations, quote, "If the state's attorney files a petition to permit prosecution under the criminal laws, and if the juvenile judge determines that there is probable cause to believe that the allegations in the petition and motion are true, there is a rebuttable presumption that the case should be transferred to the criminal court." Likewise, the statute also allows a minor 13 years of age or over of who has been accused of any crime to be transferred to criminal court if the state's attorney files a motion requesting the transfer and a juvenile judge finds that there is probable cause to believe that the allegations in the motion are true and that, quote, "It is not in the best interests of the public for the case to proceed in a juvenile justice system." Here, because criminal damaging is a misdemeanor offense, it is highly likely that any charges would be brought in the juvenile court and not transferred to the criminal justice system.
She at least getting 2 charges. And if y'all don't give her both charges, I want both y'all badge numbers.
here by the
Man,
bed.
I ain't going for that shit.
Well, you know what? No offense, but if you're gonna hear, okay, keep walking then. Keep walking then. Yeah. First of all, you're not a police officer, right?
Well, I know exactly
Did you go to law school?
I
Did
know
you go to
exactly
police
what-
officer
but
school?
look, I know
You have a
exactly
badge?
what-
Did you go through the academy?
No, I went
So
to
you
court
went to
once,
court
but-
once or twice, so all of a
No,
sudden now you know the law.
twice.
First of all, don't
No.
tell me how to do my
Man,
job.
you ain't
All
doing
right?
your job,
I'm
bro.
gonna. I just.
Damn, the police officer went straight to snapping. Listen, like, he didn't even say, like, alright, say the nigga who's sweeping, who said she needs at least 2 charges. Imagine if he said, y'all, she need 2 charges. Then he said it again, she need 2 charges. Then he said it again, she need 2 charges. This nigga said it one time and the police officer snapped.
Here by the
Man, I
bed.
ain't going for that shit.
Well, you know what? No offense, but if you're gonna hear, okay, keep walking then. Keep walking then. Yeah. First of all, you're not a police officer, right?
Well, I know exactly
Did you go to law school?
I
Did
know
you go to
exactly
police
what-
officer
but
school?
look, I know
You have a
exactly
badge?
what-
Did you go through the academy?
No, I went
So
to
you went to
once,
court
but-
once or twice, so all of a
No,
sudden now you know the law.
twice.
First of all, don't
No.
tell me how to do my
Man,
job.
you ain't
All
doing
right?
your job,
I'm
bro.
gonna. I just
Doing
got
your
here.
job, bro.
You don't even know me.
Shut up.
He did say
If you want to do something then, son. Little kid, you call me over here and then you trying to threaten me, son. I'll slap you on some silvers and take.
What?
he did say
If you want to do something then, son. Little kid, you call me over here and then you trying to threaten me, son. I'll slap you on some silvers and take you down to county. That's what I gotta do. Cause what you gonna do? False arrest?
What you gonna
False
arrest me
arrest?
for?
You didn't just point that stick at me?
Is your camera on?
You see that red dot? It's on. It's on. It's on with your scary.
I ain't
Okay,
scared.
sure.
God, what the fuck wrong with the police in Illinois?
No, you watch what you say. You watch what you say. You watch what you say,
I ain't
kid.
watching
I don't know who you think you're talking to, but first of all, you don't talk to me like
Yeah,
that.
alright.
You understand that?
I'm not
I'm
no
here to
kid.
help you. Before I even
No.
got here, you like, y'all thinking to do.
Get
I
out my
just
face.
got
Get
here.
out my face.
You. I'm right here, mother.
Rookie.
I'm right here.
This shit crazy.
Here.
You a rookie.
Brawler, it's time!
Fuck. What the? Did the police steal off? The police stole off?
You. I'm right here, mother.
Rookie.
I'm right here.
You a rookie.
Shut up.
That's police brutality.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Because you went to court once or twice?
You mean? I know my laws.
Officer Rosario engages in repeated arguments with
Nah, that police officer going through something, huh? Nah, I hope this boy, the boy right here, the little boy, I hope he don't do nothing. Just keep your cool, you good. He pushed you good, don't do nothing.
Shut up.
That's police.
What the fuck wrong with this police?
I'm right here.
You a rookie.
Shut up.
That's police brutality.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Because you went to court once or twice?
You mean? I know my laws.
Officer Rosario engages in repeated arguments with Mr. Hume,
And I hate when people mama be like, be quiet, and niggas keep talking, bro.
and eventually approaches him and pushes him. We will discuss the legality of Officer Rosario engaging physically with Mr. Humes later in this episode. But for now, it's important to note that his verbal interaction with Mr. Humes almost certainly violated his department's policies. According to Rule 18 of the current version of the Springfield Police Department Rules of Conduct, which have been revised several times since this interaction occurred, quote, members will be courteous to the public at all times and will not express any prejudice concerning race, religion, politics, age, national origin, lifestyle, gender, or disabilities.
And he keep calling him, he keep calling him little boy. Well, not little boy. He ain't calling him little boy. The police officer keep calling him something, kid or something.
Members will be tactful in the performance of their duties, controlling their tempers, and exercising the utmost patience and discretion, and will not
You see what I'm saying? You said that said, what is that? The utmost patience. This nigga ain't had no patience. Soon as the little white boy said something, the first time he said something, the police snapped.
engage in argumentative discussion.
You never read the book. They're like the police didn't know read the conduct book either.
Even in the face of extreme provocation in the performance of their duties, members will not use coarse, violent, profane, or insolent language or gestures. Here, although Officer Rosario's aggressive and argumentative conduct clearly violates this rule, as we have previously discussed on ATA, an officer's violation of department policy is generally not considered to be illegal unless it also constituted a violation of a statute or other legal requirement. Under Section 33-3 of Article 5 of Title 720 of the Illinois Compiled Statutes, quote, a public officer or employee commits misconduct when, in his official capacity, he or she commits any of the following acts: intentionally or recklessly fails to perform any mandatory duty as required by law, knowingly performs an act which he knows he is forbidden by law to perform.
The push.
With intent to obtain a personal advantage for himself or another, he performs an act in excess of his lawful authority, solicits or knowingly accepts for the performance of any act a fee or reward which he knows is not authorized by law. The Supreme Court of Illinois explained in the 1991 case of Fellhauer versus City of Geneva that, quote, as the provisions of the statute indicate, a charge of official misconduct must specify the law allegedly violated by the officer in the course of committing the offense, and that a law includes a, quote, civil or penal statute, Supreme Court rule, administrative rule or regulation, or tenet of professional code. While there is no case law determining whether a police department policy would qualify as a law for the purposes of this statute, given the treatment of department policies in other cases, it is likely a court would determine that Officer Rosario's verbal conduct did not rise to the level of official misconduct, even though it was undoubtedly a violation of the department rules of conduct.
I hope
Ma'am,
you're
if we find her, she's gonna be arrested for criminal damage. Did she hit you today?
You mean put your hands
Shut the up. Did she hit you today? I'm not a... You watch your mouth.
I
Put
said
her
what I
hands on the
want.
back.
As soon as I put my hands on your punk, so I know how it's gonna go.
I'm not even gonna take you to jail. I'll give you the freedom of that.
Man, you a
You wanna put one or two?
I call you out here for my purpose, and you
Yeah.
and my son are, come on now, really.
Well, first of all, your son's got a mouth on
Yes,
him.
I know he does.
Yep.
I know he
And
does.
now I can see why your daughter's acting all out of control. You want to throw some hands, man? We can throw some hands, and I won't even arrest you, man. I'll let you go right in there. Oh, like I've never heard that before.
Can I have your badge? I mean, you just pushed me. I mean, I want that number.
I pushed you?
Yeah, you pushed on me, dude.
Yeah, you pushed him.
I want that number.
So you scared now?
No, I ain't
Is that
scared
what
shit.
it
I
is?
want your
Okay.
number, though.
I pushed you once, and you scared. That's why
You're not supposed to push him at all. You're supposed to be helping him.
you scared.
But if they
My
push you,
camera is on.
Now it's on.
My camera's been on. What do you want me to do for you to put some hands on me?
Just come back over.
You want?
why if the police keep encouraging him to fight?
Me to put my pistol away? You want me to put my badge
Just
away?
come back over without your uniform.
Wait, what?
I'm not even gonna tase you. I'm not even gonna mace you. I'm gonna give you these hands, and you still gonna run your mouth. You still scared, dude. I'm done with you, dude. If you ain't gonna throw hands, then shut the up.
What? This who the police hiring out here?
That's
Yeah,
it.
come,
Bring
go,
your
be-
over and touch me one more
If
time.
you ain't gonna,
Officer Rosario takes off his badge and throws it on the ground, and then approaches Mr. Humes and shoves him for a second time. Mr. Humes
Oh yeah, Mr. Hughes, you better knock this nigga out.
retaliates.
Yeah, I like this.
Physical altercation, during which Officer Rosario wrestles Mr. Humes to the ground and punches him in the face and head more than a dozen times, even though Mr. Humes remained in a defensive position. Under Section 12-3 of Article 5 of Title 720 of the Illinois Compiled
Yeah, that police officer definitely getting cheated on by his wife.
statutes, quote,
He know
a person
it.
commits battery if he or she knowingly, without legal justification, by any means, causes bodily harm to an individual or makes physical contact of an insulting or provoking nature
natural
with an individual.
individual.
As the Supreme Court of Illinois detailed in the 1982 case of People versus Mays, quote, although it may be difficult to pinpoint exactly what constitutes bodily harm for the purposes of the statute, some sort of physical pain or damage to the body, like lacerations, bruises, or abrasions, whether temporary or permanent, is required. Otherwise, there would be no need for the other type of battery, contact of an insulting or provoking nature. Additionally, under Section 12-3.05 of Article 5, quote, a person commits aggravated battery when, in committing a battery, he or she knowingly causes great bodily harm or permanent disability or disfigurement. The Second Division of the First District Appellate Court of Illinois explained in the 1991 case of People versus Figures that while the term great bodily harm, quote, is not susceptible of a precise legal definition, it requires an injury of a greater and more serious character than an ordinary battery. The question of whether the victim's injuries rise to the level of
I'm glad he reading because I would not be.
great bodily harm is a question for the trier of fact, which is neither dependent upon hospitalization of the victim nor the permanency of his disability or disfigurement. Instead, the determination centers upon the injuries which the victim did in fact receive. In the Figures case, the court considered the 1984 case of People v. Matthews, where it had affirmed an aggravated battery conviction based on great bodily harm, where the victim was struck on the head with a gun and received several full-force blows on the head and arms with a baseball bat, despite the victim's admission that she only had a bruise on her head. However, the court ultimately determined that the injury at question in the case they were reviewing, where the defendant fired a shot which pierced the victim's shoe but did not penetrate his skin, did not rise to the level of great bodily harm. Here, given the broad discretion given to the fact finder to determine if a victim suffered bodily harm or great bodily harm, it is certainly possible that a jury could determine that Officer Rosario committed either battery or aggravated battery in his attack on Mr. Humes.
Hold on, what the f***? Don't arrest him, don't arrest him.
Hey, man, you can't arrest him. You the one who got down.
Man,
Hello, how you look?
don't arrest him, don't arrest him. Man, man, what's up?
Come on,
What's up?
Like I told you, dude. You ain't about that life, kid.
Like I told you.
Like I told you, you ain't about that life.
Hold on, I got
Now go inside.
Like I told you.
Go inside. We done here.
Yeah, man.
Man, why don't you let me
I'm
slam
not involved. I'm not involved.
Why
Man.
don't you let me slam
Don't,
that?
Bro, go in the house.
don't
Why'd
talk
you
to me,
not talk
okay?
about put my hands behind my back?
Don't
Why'd
talk
you
to
let
me.
me do this?
I'm sorry, but your son over here needs some discipline.
Man, I wish you would just get back in the street
Oh.
one more time.
Manny, should I give him one more? Should I turn this off and give him one more? I don't think you want it, kid.
Come back later, why I got my
Ma'am, if she comes back, would you just give us a call, please? Okay, and we'll handle her accordingly.
Officer Rosario and Officer Manzanares left the scene without any further incidents, and Officer Rosario later returned with several other officers to apologize to Mr. Humes. Mr. Humes informed Officer Rosario that he did not need to apologize, and when officers returned without Officer Rosario to photograph the injuries on Mr. Humes' face, Mr. Humes told them that Officer Rosario should be promoted. Immediately following the incident, Officer Rosario was placed on leave while the Springfield Police Department conducted an internal investigation, and he was terminated from his position on May 9th, 2017. He was also charged with official misconduct and 2 counts of battery in the Circuit Court of Sangamon County. And after a trial, a jury found him guilty of official misconduct and 1 count of battery for
Can
making
y'all
quote,
see
physical
me?
contact of an insulting or provoking
Y'all can't even
nature
see me.
with Mr. Humes. However, the jury determined that he was not guilty of battery causing bodily harm. As a result of his conviction, former Officer Rosario was sentenced to 24 months probation and ordered to comply with mental health, substance abuse, and anger management treatment. When
Substance abuse. So that mean he was off them perks. I told you he wasn't acting like no regular. No, he was acting like a nigga on the street off the perks.
issuing this sentence, Judge John Madonia stated that the body camera footage of the incident, quote, absolutely has the potential to erode confidence our community has to place in our officers, and that he had, quote, a responsibility to impose a sentence based on the jury's verdict, but to also make sure it doesn't happen again,
How you?
that our community be confident that we're addressing these issues. Overall, Officer Rosario gets an F for maintaining a confrontational and aggressive attitude throughout the encounter, escalating the situation instead of taking steps to de-escalate when faced with Mr. Humes' hostile conduct, initiating a fist fight with Mr. Humes, and striking him repeatedly when he was on the ground in a defensive position. While I appreciate that Officer Rosario later apologized for his behavior, his actions were so egregious that I cannot in good conscience assign him a higher grade, even though he eventually took responsibility for misconduct. As Judge Madonia pointed out during his sentencing, interactions like these can significantly erode the public's confidence in police departments in general, and there is absolutely no excuse for an officer initiating a physical altercation with a citizen because of his speech under any circumstances. Mr. Humes gets a C-, because although he was within his First Amendment rights to challenge Officer Rosario, he maintained a hostile demeanor throughout the interaction, consistently taunted and provoked Officer Rosario, and urged Officer Rosario to physically attack him on multiple occasions. While Mr. Humes' behavior in no way justified any of Officer Rosario's conduct, Mr. Humes
Hey, look, I'm on Hughes' side. I'm on Mr. Hughes' side, my nigga.
certainly did
Even
not
though he should have. Why was he out there? Oh, he was cleaning the glass. Okay, he was cleaning the
do
glass.
himself any favors by continuing to antagonize Officer Rosario and engage with him in a negative manner. That being said, as we have discussed many times here on ATA, the First Amendment protects a substantial amount of criticism towards the police, and Officer Rosario's response was not only unprofessional, but it likely violated Mr. Humes' constitutional rights. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out my
W
second
video,
channel
man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, send this to your auntie of her way.